Hello guys, my name is Remy Colton and I am a teaching and learning major here at the University of Houston. I am looking at grades 4 through 8 in social studies. So I'm going into my last 2 semesters, and after I graduate, ideally, I would like to find a job in 7th grade Texas history. Would also love teaching 8th grade US history or even 6th grade world civilizations. I think just the bulk of my knowledge, having lived in Texas for over 20 years now, just happens to be Texas history. But I've always had a big fascination with just history as a whole. Ever since I was younger, I loved reading into our early civilizations and, the Greek and Roman empires and, just everything. I think in recent years I've, focused a lot more on U.S. history and, primarily a lot of Texas history. So I do feel comfortable, teaching any of those, really anywhere in the middle school level, sorry. But I think the dream job would be to land in 7th grade, just, it being such a passion of mine. Before coming into teaching and learning, I actually managed restaurants all throughout Texas for about 6 years. I was a kitchen manager, a general manager for several different chains before I decided, it was time to make the move and, finish my college career. And I chose education just because it's always been a passion of mine. And it's always been, my dream to be a teacher. And, I'm also a big sports guy. So not only a teacher, but would also have, some aspirations to coach or, maybe just be an assistant coach in football or baseball or, something like that. I married now for 3 years, and I do have a 1-year-old daughter. My wife also happens to be a teacher. She teaches 3 to 5 special needs, so she's a big inspiration of mine as well, and a big reason why I also want to teach. But again, I think the main reason, just because of my love social studies and just how much I enjoy working with kids. I've also been running a children's museum these past few years while finishing up at U of H, so that's been a lot of fun. I look forward to taking this class. I think a second language acquisition is really important in life, but I also think it's just very important for us as future educators, going into schools. I think it's very beneficial to be bilingual. I think it gives you that edge. I would love, going into, my first year of teaching to know, not only English but Spanish or another language. I think that would help me, in communicating with, my students that, aren't English language first speakers. So I'm definitely envious of, those that can speak multiple languages. And, I do have it as a goal of mine, to learn to speak more. When I was in high school, I did take German for a couple years. I think I went with German, mostly just I think a lot of my friends were taking it, and I, jumped on that bandwagon and, wanted to do that. I took it for the 2 years, the requirement. Unfortunately, not much of it has stuck with me. I wish a little bit of more of it did. That's a regret that I do have not, continuing to practice. So, it stays with you stays in your long-term memory. I just remember, the easier stuff or, those phrases that we were required to write on tests or things like that. I can, still say my name, like, Ik ben Remy, or, simple stuff like that. I remember saying on a quiz, you had to write, how you would get to school. I walked to school and I rode the bus. And that phrase has always stuck with me, that I rode the bus to school. It's Ik ben zu Fuß dieser Schule. And, aside from that, I feel like most of my German is kind of left, unfortunately. So that is a regret. I wish more of it would have stayed. Aside from German, before I was born, my parents actually lived in Spain for 7 years. So growing up, both my mom and my dad have always been fluent in Spanish. I think the version of Spanish that comes from Spain versus Mexico is a little bit different. Not that it would prevent you from communicating, but it is mildly different. So that's the Spanish that my mom still knows. My dad, having gotten into the oil field and been in the oil field for over 30 years now, his Spanish has progressed a little bit and is a little beyond my mom's. My dad's completely fluent in anyway, and I definitely admire him for that. That's something I'd like to be able to do as well. So I remember times growing up and being little, and me, my brother, my sister, if my parents were talking and it wasn't something we were supposed to be hearing, they would always speak Spanish. And it's funny because even now I'm 29 years old. I'm married. I have a daughter. Even nowadays, going over to my parents' house, if there's something that they want to talk about and don't want anybody else to know, they can speak Spanish. So it's always been kind of a joke in the house. But it's also always kind of given me that that push that it's something that I do want to learn. And I think it has many benefits, like I was saying, in the education field primarily. I think it has huge benefits, and I think it's also just fair. It's living in Texas, we do have a lot of Spanish speakers, and a lot of them it's their first language, and not only Spanish but so many other languages. And I feel like not just out of respect, but out of pure want, I would love to learn these other languages and be able to communicate with other people one-on-one, not just in English, but maybe in their native tongue. I have set a goal for myself to learn Spanish in the next few years, and it's something that I plan to do and learn fluently. Again, just because I think it'll help me in life and help me in my career path. So I really look forward to taking this class and seeing how that can help progress me with that and move me forward. So I'm looking forward to not just this class, but these next few semesters and finishing up and getting out there in the field and starting my career. So I look forward to it. All right, thanks guys.